Hi, good everyone.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Um, Welcome to our last class for the week. Yeah, has only been an interesting journey to be amongst us, to be learning together. It's all of us and still learning, fun, teaching, and learning. So, welcome guys to today's class. We know what to have today, right? So, today guys will be having presentations. We're having presentations. So, this like to check that all of us are in sync, that we're following notes we are doing. We know what you're doing. Please, I don't know. I saw someone sent a post. Yeah, okay. It's all right. So that's cool. I thought that's just a personal post. I don't know. Maybe I didn't go through the post before commenting. Yeah. If you send a post on, if you must send something on that, it should be something related to UIUX, right? So if you make posts, you can share to the group related to UIUX only, right? If you have maybe inspiration, you feel like if you have maybe challenges, feel like you should look at or inspiration that you may feel like would be of need to others, then do what to share too, right? But any post outside the field of UIUX is not welcome there. It's we all know how these things are. So just I saw the link, that's why I'm just saying it. I didn't take any that was in the link. But I feel it's a post in there on so that's cool. All right, so welcome guys to today's class where we'll be sharing our knowledge, right? Since I've been the one imparting throughout the week, and today I guess I'll just I and other members of the class will sit back and watch you impart some knowledge, right? I want you to tell us what to plant. Um, maybe I want you to show working, right? You want you to show you have the time to say yes, yes, yeah, yes, you are following this guy want to show working. So I'm waiting for that people to just come up and okay, just one more person, let's get to 10, then we'll start the class. Okay, 10. So just click on the raise hand icon on your phone. Everyone should click on the raise hand icon so you know our numbers, how we start the presentation, right? Just tap on your raise hand icon and see the numbers from there. And then so once you get to your number, you take it on, tell us, like make a presentation of all the plans, the ones that need to you sharing your screen, your laptop, that's cool. We give you access to share your screen. So you talk to us and lecture us on how it has been so far, right? So that's pretty much what we'll be doing today. So if time permits at the end of the day, I just go back to pick and brush up on two things there. But today is just to hear from our students and make sure that all of us are in sync. Comes every Friday, right? So we learn from Monday to Thursday. Then Friday we make presentations, and if we're able to round up early, can just take up some fun tutorials or stuff like that and keep things going, right? So just click on the raise hand icon let's get started. Let's get started. I'm still not seeing hands up. Why? Are we together? Hello, can you hear me? Hello.
Hello, good afternoon, sir.
Yeah. So people can even hear me. Just raise your hands. Raise your hands. Tap on your raise hand like I can. I've seen somebody born. Thanks for doing that. So other people should follow. Let's do this. It's fun. It's actually fun. Just where people talk. So when let's say Yvonne as number one, when Yvonne is talking, you prepare. Everyone will prepare his or her question for her, right? So based on what she lectures us on, based on the things she shares with us, you guys will ask her questions based on what she said. And if you find any place at any point, right, you feel adequately, you brought down your hand, you are number two at any point you feel that she didn't say things right, you can just correct her and stuff like that. So additionally, you're still number two. Up on that, always and I go, let's continue with this, right? So Yvonne, just take these like 2 minutes or so and explain to us all you've gotten through the week. And the part of maybe the practical, the Figma part, if you want to share your screen, you can tell me so I'll give you rights to share your screen. So thank you. The floor is yours now, Yvonne.
All right. Thank you very much for the opportunity to
So
speak. Please pardon me. We
sorry
are
to cut it.
all learning. So, in case I make mistakes, like he said, don't laugh at
Okay,
me.
sorry to cut it. As she's talking, be preparing your questions, listen to her attentively. So because everyone will participate, everyone will answer questions, right? So sorry to cut it short. Continue. Others, raise your
Okay.
hands. Raise your hands.
So, going from day one, what I've learned, the day one was talking about introduction to UI UX, and from what I got, UI means user interface, whereas UX is the user experience. So the user interface, it has to do with how the user, is able to use that particular software, how easy it is, how user friendly it is, what the user is seeing, how what exactly that would kind of solve the user's problem in that software. So, and the ease of navigation. So, whereas the experience is just like self-explanatory, user experience, that's the experience that person has while using that particular software or product. So if it's easy to, to navigate in that particular product or in that particular software, how easy it is to navigate there. What are the elements? The elements there, I'm now moving down to elements. That's the elements of design. So what are the elements? What are the things that the user is seeing in that particular product? And from what from what you mentioned, or what we're taught, mentioned a few. We talked about the lines, using shapes, and all that. I can't remember now. I mentioned two, but I think it's up to five or six. I think there is also lines, shapes, sphere. Is that sphere or so? Yeah, something like a circle, use of circles. And there's a point you mentioned that lines in every shape or so, there must be lines used. So you use your lines to create any design, any shape or whatever. Then the you also mentioned that the elements, um the sorry, the principles now, so that the principles are like rules that guide the designer. So it's like you paint an analogy where you have like you have rules that guide people in an organization. So if you're a designer, these are like rules that guide you for you to be able to create, visually um like a visual that is to create make beautiful designs. So and you mentioned like one of them is typography and color. You also mentioned what's the other one? Alignment. I don't know if I'm right. Alignment, um, white space or negative space, and um, I don't know, hierarchy. Yeah, hierarchy. So these are the ones I could remember. So when we talk about color, which was what we learned yesterday, is it's like when you use color to create visually appealing designs. It is with color how they match, how they contrast. Yes, that's the word. Contrast with each other that will now give that visually appealing design. So, and you coming down to yesterday too, you mentioned like some concepts in the color theory. You mentioned the monochromatic, the analogous, the complementary, split, tetradic. I mean tetra, I don't know, tetra something. I know it's like square, like using like rectangles. And yeah, you mentioned triadic, a bit triadic, which is using like triangle on that color wheel. Then it's just all about, colors that match each other, how you're able to, match those colors so that it will present you like the, go-to expert in UI designs. Then the what's the second principle I mentioned? Typography. So typography had to do with the use of um will I call it characters now? Because I don't want to use fonts because that's part of the things I learned like on Wednesday, that you don't call it fonts because fonts are like the first name, like you painted in the analogy, is like first name. So we should use more of typefaces. Typefaces are like the surname, that's the family name. So for instance, if you're using Arial now, Arial is the typeface and Arial Black is the font. So when it comes to typography, it has to do with the how you present those typefaces, that is those fonts now, how you use your fonts to create that, visual appealing design. So for instance, like you're talking about um um assembling people like what's the word now? You want to tell people about maybe a 3-day program that is going on in your church, for instance. This is how I thought about it in my head. So you're trying to create that focus on the conference that is happening and the day, that is how long it's gonna take. So the way you like I'm looking for the word. The way you scream, you use your phones would be able to will make that person, you're trying to make that person focus on the real things that you want the person to focus on. So you use your fonts to, make it visible enough for the user or for the reader on that design. Then the white space, you said it had to do with the spaces, that's the empty spaces. So the more white spaces or negative space you have, the more visually appealing it would be to the user. So if you have a design whereby you have so many things going on around that design, it doesn't really, create that focus. It doesn't really create that. The user might not, love how disorganized the whole thing is, but the more you have more white spaces you get on your design, the more people are able to concentrate and, um, have a nice experience on that particular software or product. Then you also mentioned in the principles, you said, is there a hierarchy? So you said hierarchy is like to distinguish between the designs and um, evoke attention. So that's just it. Um, like when I was going through the internet, there's this design I saw, and it was so creative for me though. So the person was trying to, in that design, it was just like a logo, but in between that design, if you look very deeply into the design, you see something looks like a house inside that design. So it was about like Airbnb stuff. So I think the person was just trying to show that house. Like once a user sees that house, your mind goes to what that person is trying to, to evoke. That is the where you should rather be thinking, oh, wow, this thing has to do with something that has to do with homes or house or something like that. So that's just about hierarchy. Which other one did I mention? Mm, I don't know. So that's just the much I have gathered. Then you also told us about you walked us through the software that UI UX designers use as well. You mentioned the Amazon. You mentioned the Adobe SD, and you also told us about the current one which we're using, which is um, the Figma. So you walked us through how to use the tools on Figma, right from how to create a document to how we can use each and every one of the tools. I don't know if I should be sharing my screen now.
Yeah, I can give you a right to share screen. Just give me a second.
1 minute, please.
I don't want to be picking at random. Please just raise your hand. Let the system do the selection. Tap on that raise hand. Let's see people that are waiting. I don't want to be calling. I might call you when you're not prepared. Just raise your hand and know that at this point I'm prepared. I'm ready for this. We have number one already at Yvonne and Adekunle at number two. Adekunle, even if you bring down your hand, I still know you as my number two. So just have that, just have that in mind, right? So others should just join. Number one is taking, number two is taking. Then tap on your raise hand icon. It's simple.
So I don't know if you can see my screen.
Ja, indicate if you can see her screen, please.
Yeah, we can see your screen.
Okay, so we've already this Figma, the landing page. So if you want to create a new document, you go to the topmost, the right hand side, the top by your right. So you click on new documents and you click on design file. And once you click on it, you've already created a new document. As you can see, it launches you into that new document there. Then if you want to still go back to your files, you go back to your files by the topmost left corner, by the left. You go back to files. There you can find the community where you can get preloaded designs from different designers. Then this is your file and all down. We all know this one from Word documents. We know what file is, edit, view, and all that. So it has its um individual features there. Then the one major thing I want to focus on is how to use the move tool. So based on this particular Figma I'm using, because we understood that we have different ones. So you can use your move tool here and your hand tool there. So your move tool is just to move um a particular shape there. So let me start with the shape now. So we have a rectangle, which we can, use to create rectangles. And I take this one. And for each of them, we can be able to fill the color, because it should be, once you click on that particular shape, based on my own Figma, by the right hand side, you can see design and prototype. So the prototype is like the physical um product. So according to our facilitator, he said you can choose which of the product you're working on, or you want the product to look like. So there are a lot of them here, where you can, maybe if you're creating for an iOS or a particular product, so you have the options to choose which of the products that you want to create. So if, for instance, I'm choosing iPhone 15 Pro, so I'll choose that. And I think it should, let me see. No, I mixed it. Yeah, okay. It's already there. So, and for the design, is for that design on that particular selected shape. So if you want it, like if you want to change the color, you can have the alternative to choose from any of them, red or yellow or blue. So you can change it at this point. That's what the fill color is. This was called the eyedropper tool. So you can actually use this to choose on any color palettes. So you can use this to just pick the color and drop on that particular shape. So back to designs. You can also stroking. So like if you want to increase the border, you can increase it to how you want to increase it, or you can reduce it and reduce it. So as you can see, the pink fill color on that rectangle is getting smaller, because the border around it, the border here around it, is increasing. So that's what this is for, to increase the border or to reduce the border. If you don't want any at all, you can just leave it as 0. Mm. So if you want it to be at the center, you can put it at the center. If you want it to be in, it will be in. So you can't really see what I'm doing because the border is not is at 0. So let's say put it at 19. So you can, it's obvious now, you can see the border. Then the center, it's at the center now. You can see it. It's at the center. It's inside and it's outside. So how do you know that? You can see that blue, the blue, this, it's showing that it's at the center. So keep an eye on it. Let me just put it on inside. So you can see it's in now. Then at outside, you can see it's outside. So someone might be saying, but it's inside now. No, outside means that it's going right in, whereas inside is coming right out. So that's it for that. Then effects is like whether you want to blur it, you can see what's going on there, inner shadow. So if it's blurred, you can understand the pink color is blurred. If you look at that particular color is blurred. So background is blurred and all that. So that's it for effects. Then oh, don't know what that is for. But that's all I got for effects though. Hmm. Exports, if you want to export it, and in which format do you want to export it? If you want it in JPEG, you can click on JPEG. PDF, you can click on PDF, PNG, and like that before you export. So that's just it. Then for the, I think, let me not take too much time because I think I've elapsed my time. The same goes with lines. If you want to draw a line, then what he mentioned was that if you want to draw a line and you want it to be in a straight line, you can just click on lines, and put your control key down and you draw that line. Is it control or key? Yeah. Let's see. Okay, shift key, not control key, shift key. So if you want to draw a straight line, just click on the shift key and you draw a perfect straight line. Same with arrow, this for arrow. Same with ellipse. And here is the ellipse I was thinking about. So it's like a sphere or circle. Then polygon, you can draw a polygon. And star, you can draw a star. And so I think someone else should take. I've really, so if you want to place an image, maybe imported image from community. So the short, what is it called again? Fast path. Not fast path. The short code is Control Shift K, and you place the image where it is. So, like that. You can choose from your file. So let's say, let me put this tiger logo head. So I'll just open and it would come here. That's it for the design. Can reduce it so that I can see everything I'm doing. So that's it. There are other things I would like to say, but
That's
it's like it's the only one. Let me leave for others to talk about.
yeah, we've heard from you. At least you have something to show, right? So why we have something like this is the skill you're picking up, right? This is a skill that requires
Yeah.
presentation and all, right? You have a lot of people to talk to. You have the goal is not just to do not create a nice design. Sometimes you need to explain some things to some people, right? You need to explain reasons why you took some actions, and it will require you to make presentations, right? And like
Mm.
definitely you stand up people to talk. So it's actually nice you start learning how to do things like that at the onset, right? You know how to explain things, you know how to tell stories behind what you are doing. That's nice from Yvonne. Although we are missing some words, some technical words and technical terms, right?
Yeah.
Every industry have their terms. So I feel you should just go back to terms and repeat yourself more. So when you are talking to people, they will know that a UI UX designer is talking when you are communicating with your fellow designers. Because you don't just end
Okay.
here in class. You have tons and tons of designers out there. Definitely you will cross paths with them and you communicate. And when they say some things and you look at them, what do you mean? What's that? It
Mm.
doesn't really make sense. That's nice. It's actually cool. Try that thing.
Okay, like
Yeah.
I want okay. Before that, I have a question, but I think if anybody has a question to ask, I think I missed that one to ask me.
Okay.
So we can
Okay, before you ask,
ask.
so if you have questions for her, just raise it so we move to another person. Is it the presentation that is making everywhere cool this way? People are like, we are active and we are not active. What's happening? Should we take presentations out?
No, please. Oh, I think it's part of what we need for the job. So it's not, I
Let's
don't
hear from
think it's
others.
something anybody needs to be, it's better we show our weak points, our weaknesses, so that we can be able to be corrected and, make those corrections and get better.
Okay,
So it's not
I
something
guess
we have to be perfect.
Teresa, maybe the know the question.
No, it's not my question. I'm not waiting from. I'm on the queue for the presentation. It's not question.
Okay.
Okay, okay, it's all right.
So no
You have
question for
questions for
me.
her. So in absence of
Sorry,
any other
I
question,
have
I
a
guess
question.
you, yeah, okay.
Good afternoon. I joined very late. Is the presentation for everybody?
It's for everybody, every member of the class.
Hmm?
I said it's for everybody.
I didn't get it.
Did you get me?
Okay.
It's open to everyone.
Eh,
Oh,
So
it's open to everyone. It's open to everyone in the class. So
there's nothing fancy going on. There's nothing fancy, just explaining to the how you planned, right? Not communicating at the end of the day, I'm not communicating, I'm not making any impact. So just for you to just explain and brief us how you're going throughout the week. You get
okay. I would have loved to, but Teams doesn't work on my laptop. So I've been using phone to join the class, then practice with my laptop. That's why I was asking.
okay, maybe from next presentation, everyone is required to join with their laptops. But for now, when is your turn, right? Just tap on the raise hand icon. So whenever I call you, you just give us a rundown of what you planned. So you must not share your screen, right?
okay.
So the next person would be
My
Teresa. Okay,
question,
thanks
my
everyone for your
question.
time. So, what's the question?
I have a question. I wasn't like you mentioned that there were some will I call it terminologies, yeah, jargons that UI UX designers use. So I wanted to ask in the course of my presentation, what were the things I couldn't explain because I want to get it as a feedback and also, or rather, the terminologies I didn't use, so I can get it as a feedback and know what exactly that is
Yeah,
required
at
of
this
me?
point, we've not been much things, right? We've not been dealing with much things. Like when we were making presentations, they were words we were jumping. We just like at the point to say whatever, at the point to say, you know what I'm saying, those type of things, right? So those are the things which just get to mind. Maybe those type of
Oh, okay.
words, you know how to actually call things by their names. That's like what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
So you don't pretend that they know it because you're in the same, we're learning the same skill. You might not be talking to people that are learning what you're learning or that know what you know. So right, you still need to talk to them in a way that they will understand and believe in you as the key. Right. So thanks for the
Okay.
presentation. We just move on to the next person. So the next person, you just have 5 minutes. If you look at the time she took, was about 10 to 20 minutes. So next person, just time yourself. After 5 minutes, you round the band. And so let's hear you, Teresa.
Sorry. So I just want, before I continue, must I share my screen?
If you want to share a screen, you can. But from next week, everyone will be sharing their screens.
Okay.
So
I will, because she has basically done justice to most of this I wanted to say. So I'll just give a rundown of what I got for this week. 5 minutes, okay. So we started with the introductions to what UI UX is all about by trying to look at to understand what UX means and what UI means. So UX is user experience, UI user interface. And for me, I see that UI is about um guiding and it's about guiding and appeasing the user visually, like the visual design of a product. Why UX is about how the users experience this product, how they're able to easily navigate in this product, how they enjoy using this product. That's to the best of my own knowledge. So we also looked at the different processes for UI UX design, wireframing, research work, testing, prototyping. You were just going off and on, like as you were saying it, you were trying to show us the basic things that we needed to know. And you also talked about this thing. We now started looking at excuse me, we now started looking at
sorry.
the different aspects of Figma. So you talked about excuse me, sorry. You talked about is it, I can't remember what, but I know it was, you were talking about
Can you hear me, Teresa?
yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, I
Hello?
can hear
Your
you.
yeah,
I
the
can.
network, your line is not clear. Are
Though
you using
it's
an AirPod or
breaking
yeah?
up.
Oh, it's breaking. My network has been terrible here. Rain is falling in this side. I'm
This
so
is cool
sorry.
now.
It's okay right now, right? So I think we looked at
Yeah.
the different principles of design where you talked about contrast, alignment, layouts, and how everything comes to play when we start doing designs. We also talked about lines, then and you showed us how we can achieve that using the Figma interface. Then we looked at space, we looked at both the positive and negative space. You showed us a house diagram where what for how we can know which one is the negative space and which one is the positive space, where you say that the positive space is occupied by objects while the negative space is empty. That's like the surroundings around the object. We also look at movements, which shows the flow, how the flow of the design goes from one aspect, from one visual hierarchy to the other. Then we now looked at emphasis, how the designers can use font size, and colors to emphasize on something that they want the user and the um, users to see. So if they want you to see something first, So it's like the position. They want to see something first before you see another thing. They may use a bigger and bolder font, as well as a more pronounced color for you to see. Then we now looked at what typography is all about, the importance of typography, where we now talked about how typography is used to make a statement, like for brands. We looked at how products like Coca-Cola, Google, how they have special type of fonts that they use, that when you see it, that you know that, oh, this is Coca-Cola. When you see it, you know this is Google, that they specifically use for their brand recognition. Then we got into the different elements of typography, where we talked about fonts and typefaces. We looked at the different types of fonts. We looked at different types of typefaces. We looked at the serif. We looked at the sans serif, yes. And then we looked at decorative, right? So we looked at those different types of typefaces. Then yesterday we dealt more with the color theory, and how it plays a big aspect in affecting emotions and perceptions. So we looked at how looked at the color wheel, right? And we got to understand that the importance of the primary colors, secondary colors, tertiary colors, and how we can achieve all of these colors, and the kind of statements that they may make when users see those different colors. And you, on the Figma interface, you also showed us how we can achieve these different colors. Then, from understanding the basic knowledge of colors and its importance, then we moved into tints, tones, and shades, where tints is by adding color white to the primary colors. Then shade is by adding black to the primary colors, and I think tone is by adding gray color to the primary colors. So you now showed us how we can create different color shades of different color, different colors, properties, different colors from one particular color, where by adding this different, by adding either white, black, or gray to the particular color, in order to give you different, in order to give us different variations of a particular color. So if you, the more you keep on adding like maybe white to the color red, to keep giving you different color shades depending on the amount you are adding. If it's lesser than the other, if it's lesser than the main color, it will give you like a lighter shade. It will keep giving you something lighter. But if you're adding black to it, it will keep giving you something darker. Then before we now move to color harmony, and from what I got, color harmony is used to create like visual interest, right? So we looked at the monochromatic, analogous, complementary, split complementary. Then I think there are some others I didn't really those parts. So the monochromatic uses different tones, shades, and tints of colors, while the analogous, they use the colors that are next to each other on the color wheel, which was like some of the last things that we did yesterday. So that's what I've understood for this week. And 5 minutes is up, I think.
All right. Thanks. Although it was actually hard for us to get to at some point, but let's just believe that yes, you did a nice work. And all you said was right. For me, I didn't get to, so I don't know if others did. But, thanks for presenting. Thanks for teaching out the knowledge. Right. So I believe by next week we will do better. Right. So let's look at the next person. Oluwaseyi, let's hear from you.
I have a question for, is that Mercy that spoke?
Okay.
Oh,
Yes, there is a
or is that Teresa? I don't know. Okay. It's just so we learn, because I think I understood the tint, I understood the shade, and I didn't hear her mention tone, but I understood it. But there's one that was mentioned, and I know all are just monochromatic color harmony. So what is the hue in it? Because I know it was mentioned yesterday, but I didn't really get it. Like hue. Hue was mentioned. Is hue like the base color or something like that? I don't really, I didn't really get that. I understand tint. Tint is like adding white to it. Tone is like adding ash to it. That is gray. Shade is adding black. What's hue?
Can I answer? Let me answer. Let me answer to know if
um
me, if
okay,
I, if I even have the
okay,
answer correct.
okay, ask.
Uh, I think from my understanding from yesterday's class, I think hue is the original color. Basically, that's my own understanding. The original color before you start having things, before you tint or before you tone. Thank you.
Yeah, so that's what I was actually going to
Okay.
answer, because
So
that's what
that
I
means it's the
understood.
base
Yes.
color. Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Jennifer.
It's all right. Welcome. Actually, it's actually nice that you guys are doing something. That's cool. Hmm. So, Oluwaseyi, let's hear from you. If you're still there. I don't know if his network is stubborn or if for April, man. April, are you active there?
Yes, sir.
So please, let's do this the right way, right? Please tap on your raise hand icon. Let me know your number. I don't get to start telling people that you are active. It doesn't make sense. Just tap on the raise hand icon. Let's give you a number and we continue with this. Tap on the raise hand icon before we continue. Let everybody know this number. So whenever it comes to your turn, you just take turns and go. Right? Please, let's do that in 3 seconds.
Hello,
Sorry,
sir.
my network, sir.
Just wait, pause. Everyone should just pause at the point, right? Just raise your hand, tap on the raise. Like there's an icon on your call, right? Raise hand. You see a hand icon. Just tap on that icon, right? Tap it and leave it. So I'll be the person to be calling people, right? Yes, I've seen people tap, right? Let's see others. Let's get to others. Other participants of the call, tap on the raise hand icon. So we continue this the right way. Okay. Oluwaseyi has done the same. Let's do that. That shouldn't take you more than a second to do. I don't know why you guys are taking a lot of time.
Sorry, I didn't even get what you said about raising hands.
You see how it works? How it works, right? When you raise your hand, I will see a particular number on you, right? It's just like you want to ask a question, right? Then you see this person is number one, this is number two, number three, number four, and stuff like that. So once I get to number one, I'll call your name. You know you are the next. You'll see your number there. You understand?
Please, how
So
will
Is
you
it
know
okay,
for
our
those that
number?
wants
I
to
Oluwaseyi,
just listening.
present?
Sorry.
sir.
I said, is it for those that wants to
It's your
present?
yes, it's for people that want to present. Everyone, it's for everybody, not for people that wants to present. Because everyone is presenting. Oluwaseyi, are
Okay,
you
can I
there? Are
start
you
my own now?
ready? Yeah, you can start.
Yes,
We are
I'm
waiting for
here.
you.
I'm sorry, I will not be able to share my screen because I'm actually somewhere. I'm not with my system currently. So I'm joining from my phone. So basically I understand since when we started we'll be talking about UI US and thank those people that have talked so far. They have really done justice to what I needed to say. But what may have really gained is the prototype stuff. I would love to share my screen now. Talking about the prototype, we talked about how we can actually design to fit all the devices that we have, and then we talk about we talk about type of UI and UX designer. We talk about research, UI research. Talk about interaction designer. We talk about information architect, and you talk about US writer and visual designer. I think that's the one I can remember. So you said the visual writers are the UI writers rather, that one that they craft like they do they do what they do basically is writing soft copy. They write what to display, if this one happen, error messages to display, all these ones like that. So we said visual designers too. So visual designer, there's one that creates the design aspects, the branding, the graphics, topography, and all of that like that. So we talk about type of US too. So we talk about the senior ones. We talk about the lead UIUX, and basically we talk about topography too. So we say topography is out of arranging letters and making clear writings. So that's where we're talking about line spacing. We're talking about how to change fonts and stuff like that. So and um
Are you there? I guess his network is bad. Probably he will join us later. So, Favor, are you ready to take up yours?
Yes, sir.
Okay, just go on.
Okay. Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. So I'll be talking about what we did from Monday till yesterday. First, we started with an introduction to the product design. Where we talked about the UI, that is user interface design, and UX, where you discussed that user interface design. It involves the, the crafting, the visual elements, that is the way the design is. And then the UX involves the user's experience of the product or service. Then we talked about, moving on, we talked about what US designers do, user research, the wireframing and prototyping, and others, the user interface design, and the rest. We also talked about the keys and principles, the usability, the visual hierarchy, the consistency, the user-centered design. We also talked about the tools and resources, the design tools where we use Adobe, Figma, and others. Also, we talked about typography, which he said is the way the texts are arranged on the design, and it also builds a brand recognition. It also influences the decision of the user. We also discussed the elements of typography, where we talked about the fonts and the typeface. Well, the typeface is divided into two, where we have the serif and the sans serif. And in some cases, we can also have the decorative. And the serif, it has strokes, that's decorative strokes at the end, while the sans serif, there is no stroke at the end of the character. Also, we discussed about the color wheel, where we were able to see the different types of colors, the primary color, the secondary color, and the tertiary color. We also talked about tints, tones, and shades. Where tints is adding white to the color, tone is adding gray, and black is shades is adding black. Also, I think I'm missing up something. We talked about the elements of design, and there are 7 core elements of design: the line, the shape, the form, the space, texture, value, and color. Under the shape, we talked about the geometric shapes and organic shapes. The geometric shapes, they convey the stability and structure, while the organic, that's the softness and movement. Also, we talked about the principles of design: balance. That is when writing on your design, you should make sure that everything is balanced, where you make use of margins. We also talked about contrast, that is using two different things that complement each other. Also emphasis, movement, and repetition. Also, we talked about the color properties, the properties of color, where we mentioned the value, that is the dark, how dark or light. We also talked about the intensity, that is how bright or dull the color is. Then I think lastly we talked about the monochromatic, or we had the analog, we had the triadic, we had the square, and all these things are done with the help of a color wheel. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks for sharing with us what's your own experience. That's okay. Do we have questions for her?
Yes, I have. It's not more like a question, it's like a bit of correction. You mentioned that's favor, right? It
Yes.
was favor that was it. Okay. Yeah. So you said we talked about monochromatic, where we have the analogous and the rest of them you mentioned is actually the concepts in the color theory. So monochromatic is one of them, not that the analogous is under monochromatic.
Okay.
Don't know if you understand what I mean. Yeah. He mentioned like about 7 concepts yesterday, and monochromatic was one of them, followed by analogous. He mentioned complementary, he mentioned split complementary, he mentioned tetradic and triadic. I can't remember the last one. So all are under the concepts in that color theory.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, that's cool. You have more questions, or we should go to the next person? Okay, I guess we don't have. We have Oluwabunkonola. This is if I'm mispronouncing your name. Sorry. Oluwabunkonola, right? And this Sawo, this is your turn to speak to us.
Is Oluwabukunwola.
Oluwabukunwola,
Bukunwola.
as in Oluwabukunwola.
Thank you for the
Oluwabunkonola.
okay, good afternoon,
Welcome. Good afternoon.
everybody. What I have learned so far, I started on Tuesday. I was not in the first class, which is on Monday. But from what people have, what I've listened to so far, I think the Monday class was based on the introduction of UIUX, which is which stands for user interface and user experience, and then the process of designing product or systems or service, which is easy to use and efficient, and something that is supposed to be enjoyed by individuals. When you are using it, it makes it flexible for you. And the focus is mostly on the layout, the color scheme, typography, buttons, and then the icon. So the class went on to opening of Figma, the use of Figma, how you can set up your Figma. You don't need to, except you want to have an app for it, you can download the app. If not, it's not necessary. You can always go back to login on your Figma account and keep using your Figma. And then we went to the interface of Figma, which was taken one after the other. The Figma icon, which has to do with file, edit, view, objects, and every other thing. And then you have the move button, you have the move tool, you have the scale. The move is for you to move a particular object on your interface from one place to the other. And the hand tool is for you to be able to pick all of them at the same time and move everything on your interface from one place to the other. And then we went to frames, how you can use frames. The frames has to do with the particular phone or particular design you are using, either iPhone 14, 15, or Android. And I remember I asked the question that, does it mean that if you use the interface of an iPhone, you won't be able to use it on an Android? And the response was that you will be able to use it. The idea is for you to have an idea of what you are designing on a particular phone. And that's why you also have the prototype of whatever it is you are designing. And then we went to various shapes. You have your rectangle, you have your line, you have your arrows. There are different shapes. I think there's ellipse, there's polygon, and there are other types of shapes you can use. You also have your text tool that you can use to type various texts and everything. Then I think it is on when you want to use a new, when you want to maybe you want to do a quick design, you can go to your community, to the community center, and there are some templates that are free and some are not free. So if you see a template that is free and you want to use it, you can open it up with Figma, and then you can manipulate it to suit whatever it is you are designing. Or to be on the safe side, you can just easily create a new design and start your own project from the scratch, which you can also take into the community. If you are done with it, you can share it into the community. This thing, you can invite people to collaborate with your designs. That's if you want them to, you can invite people, you can share it with people, and every other thing. After the interface of Figma, we went to typography. Yes, I think so. We went to typography, and typography we have typeface, you have family fonts, you have sans serif, you have decorative, you have serif, and those are the three major typography you can use for your designs. So you can't, each of them have their own work that they do. So for decorative, probably something more catchy, something more fun, something more energetic you can use for decorative, and something more serious that you want we can say something more serious. Then you can use the sans serif. I think it's the sans serif. I'm always mixing the sans serif and serif. Sorry, please correct me if I'm wrong. It's the serif that does not have the bleeding line, the bleeding decorative attached to it, and the serif is the one that is just like a normal font to use. And then we went to color theory, or rather color wheel, and there are different kind of color harmonies. We have analogous, we have monochromatic, we have triad, we have I think there are about 7 thereabout. I think there was split, there was complementary, this thing, and then we moved on to how you can use one color to actually achieve whatever it is you want to achieve, which is that you can use one color but in different variation, whether in shades, whether tints, or it could be a bit darker or light, and depending on whichever color harmony you are using, be it analogous, which is used to create analogous is like a color wheel to create harmonious colors that are linked to each other, that are close to each other, like you have maybe red and red and purple, which are close to each other. You can use such colors and other things like that. I think that was for yesterday. Sorry, I was almost tempted to say praise the Lord. Sorry, I'm done with my presentation.
It's all right. That's okay. That's cool. If you have questions for her, you can bring it on. Okay, on a quick one, you say you asked the question the difference between, I told you, serif fonts and the fonts that have strokes, decorative strokes, and sans serif fonts. Sans, just know that sans means without serif, sans serif without serif. Serif has decorative strokes. Sans serif doesn't have decorative strokes. Sans serif without serif. Serif, that is decorative strokes. Is that clear?
Yes, it
Yes,
is.
it's clear. It's a Latin word. It's a Latin
Yeah.
word. Sans means without serif strokes.
Moving on, who's the next person?
I
Next
wanted to
person.
ask, I don't know who to direct the question to because I think it should be to you, Kinsley. So when it comes to UI UX, I know that you can be a freelancer. Yeah, you can be a freelancer. That means you're just on your own. You have a platform where you seek for jobs you can do for people. So on this note now, I I understand it from my own part that how do I want to put this question? Like if you're working as an individual for people, are you able to work for a company as well, like as their UI UX designer? For instance, you you have like a company that require UI UX to design maybe a CRM for their company. So as a freelancer now, what do you actually do as a freelancer? I think that's how the question should come. What do you actually do? Since you're
Okay,
not part
you
of a
can,
company as a UI UX designer, because I know that the opportunities one has is not only maybe working for a company as their UI UX designer. Can you work independently, like they just contract you to do the job and you just do the job and you go? How possible is it?
okay, most of UIUX jobs, most of UIUX gigs are kind of contracts, right? Because most companies don't have
Okay.
the funds to keep an in-house UI/UX designer, right?
Okay.
Once you've done the first design, they just see that okay, whenever they need a new change, whenever they want to make a change on their website, they contract another UI/UX designer to do a job for them. For companies that have enough funds to house a UI/UX designer, so there is actually a role, there is a job description for UI/UX designers, and it will be in-house. You work for the company, right? That's one. So
Okay.
another one can be through contracts, right? So you could get a contract to work for this particular company, and
For a period of time.
once you deliver, your job with them is over. That's the second one. Then the third one could be still that contract could still fall under freelancing, right? At the end of the day, you just get the gig, right? Give you the gig. Once you deliver, the job is over. That's pretty much how it works. Either you can be employed or you could work as we call it freelancing or contracting, stuff like that. So
So
it could
it
come as
doesn't mean that. Okay. So,
it could
so
come
does
as
does
a
it mean
gig
that okay.
employment. Yeah, let me
Okay.
hear you. Doesn't mean
So does it mean that it's just focused on just contracts? Now, in case of scalability, you understand what I mean? Like there um there are enhancements that is that they want to a kind of, like you said, to reconstruct that same thing. Would they still come back to you?
it's not always based on gigs. I gave you an example. I told you that there are companies that hire the way they employ other staff, right? They employ UI UX designers, they employ them and keep, right? So when they want to
Okay.
make any certain decision, they will contact their UI UX designer. There are jobs for you
Okay.
to do. There are maintenance for you to do, right? It keeps
Okay.
coming, new features. Because once a digital product is launched, you see from time to time they will tell you they have an
Okay.
update, right?
Okay.
They have an
Okay.
update. So those
Okay.
updates are designed by people. Those updates are built by people. So there are companies that have designers, in-house designers that they employed. They are under employment, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's one.
Mm-hmm.
There there are equally companies that have UI UX designers on contract, right? They have them on
Mhm.
contract. Just come in, do this at this period of time, and contract with you is over.
So
That's the second one.
if it's over now, that means no other business. Whenever you want to do an update, it doesn't, I'm not involved.
You are
Or would they
not, you
still?
must not, depends on the contract you
Okay.
undergo with them, right? So if your contract covers that, whenever an update comes, you be contacted. That's fine. If the contract ends at that first point, so if they don't owe
Okay.
you anything, it's left for them to call you back if you did well,
And
or for
renew
them to
it.
look for some,
Okay.
yeah, or someone else. That's how it works.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So moving on, let's hear from other people. Busari Damilare. Busari Damilare. Don't convict me for calling your name in a kind of way. That's the best I can do. Busari Damilare, are you active? Let's hear from you. Damilare, are you there? Oh, no, he or she is silent. Seeing Ibidun, Tayo Ibidun. Yeah. Tayo Ibidun, can you say hi to the class? So on a quick one, please remember to
Good,
sign up your rating. Always remember
good
to
afternoon.
use your rating. Yeah, continue. Tayo,
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
you're welcome. I know what you are doing, right? I don't know. Maybe Tayo is not in a nice environment to talk to us. Bala, are you there?
My network is bad actually. My network is bad, so it's breaking.
Let's hear from you then. Okay, guys. It's actually nice that I've heard from some of you. It's actually nice that I've heard from some of you. It's cool. This is what we'll be doing every Friday. Every Friday before weekend. It's just like trying to make sure that all of us are in sync. It's trying to make sure that all of us are in sync and that we are following that, we'll be following throughout the week, right? So one thing is so this one of the is how to check, especially when the lecture is online, right? When it's not physical, this is how to check that my students are actually listening, right? That we are moving on the same pace. So I don't want at the point that I'll just be talking to myself. They'll just say yes. You see them present in class. People will join in, but at the end of the day, they are not following, right? So this is just like a way to make everybody follow. So from next week, which is Friday, the presentation we'll be making will be our assignments, right? The assignment I gave out. So when we make the presentations, I will score the assignment from that presentation. So I will not call you out. If you want to submit an assignment, after doing it, you come to class, launch your screen, and present. So the people that present are the people I will score for my assignment. It's that simple. So this is just like a 3 day for us to experience how the presentation thing works. And some people, I don't know, should I say they are shying away from it or whatever. They are just okay, let's say they are shy. They didn't want people to hear their voice, but that's cool. From Friday next week, present the assignment we gave. I've given one assignment, right, which is the one I gave yesterday, and within the week I'll give another one. So we'll be making two presentations. You just present your two assignments on Friday, and that's just it. So you'll not be thinking of what to say, right? Because the assignment is there for you to walk us through the process you designed the assignment. It's that simple. That's something we'll be doing from Friday. So I just wanted to introduce this presentation. So we'll see how it works. So thanks to everyone that presented. Thanks to everyone that was good enough to talk to us and share their knowledge. Kudos to you guys. I'm um actually proud of you guys, right? I know we can do more, we can do better from the subsequent classes. Thanks you guys for making me proud. So let's should we take a quick dive to check one or two things can touch up in Figma since you
Yes, I
have
want you to. Sorry, I'm not raising my hand because I think Favor's hand is up, and whenever I raise my hand, I don't know if it's even coming up at all. That's why I always use the mic.
you can bring down your hands. We are done with the presentation part.
So,
Done with
so
the
my
presentation part.
my quest my request is a request. Can you please run us through, because from the whole thing we are doing, the major thing that I grasped from the lecture so far is that as a designer, you really need to stick to the principles. If not, you're just doing a shabby work, like you're being a mediocre or something like that. You're not acting as an expert. So can you please walk us through the design principles again so that it would actually stick? Because once we're done with our designs, I think we should also, do a check, like a tick, tick, tick. Have I done this? Have I aligned my work? Yes, check. Of course, we to get the alignment, we need to use our ruler. Am I right or wrong? To check
That's
if
right.
everything is aligned. So I think from the little I've grasped, I think every designer, as far as you want to be a go-to expert, you need to, make sure that all the principles have been captured in that particular design. So please walk us through the design principles again. I think that will make me
Uh,
happy. I don't know if I'm speaking any other person's mind.
I don't know if you'll be happy or not. We don't want to make you be happy or not. That's the fun truth. But so we are moving along, right? So we'll
Yeah,
be touching some principles, even without making it obvious that we are touching some principles, right? If you've been following us, you'll be hearing alignment a lot, right? If you are someone that has been following, which
that's
I
the
know
only
you are.
one that entered my head. Oh.
Thank you. You've been hearing of alignment a lot. Let me just bring something up, right? So if you are waiting for me to start off the principal class again, to start showing you one by one of what we did, no, I'll not be doing that. We'll just be passing through those things with examples, right? With examples. No, now you've known of alignment because we've been using that a lot in design, using that a lot in design. You should know that, okay, let's say if you want to add, okay, let me bring it in a way we understand. This, let me do this quick website.
Please.
This,
Thank you.
this quick website, right? Let's imagine these places as our navigation menus. I guess you see these things like this a lot in websites, navigation menus.
Prince, are you sharing your screen?
Are you not seeing it?
No.
Oh,
No.
No,
sorry, I thought I'm sharing. Can you guys hear it? See it now?
yes.
Okay. So let's say this is a website I'm designing, right? This is my, let's say this is my frame, and this is my navigation. This is my navigations. And this is maybe a picture, a kind of a carousel slider. We see that a lot in websites, right? Then this is another category. Another category. Right. You see things like this, I think e-commerce websites. I'm not making anything serious. I'm just trying to give you guys a layout of how things might look. Right. Then what else should be here? Um, let's say something like this again could come in here, but smaller. There's enough time. We'll do designs. We see all these things come to play. All of them will come to play right before us. So I don't need to panic. Then, here. So let's say this is our website. This is first website. Now you see the difference. I just want to point difference in between an aligned product and an unaligned product and an unaligned design. That's I don't know, it's even hard for me to go out of alignment. You see, now look at these two diagrams. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Are we together? So you look at these two diagrams, you see that this first one is, you see that alignment came into play here. Alignment came into play here. If you look at the elements, all of them are aligned, right? Even without using your ruler, you will notice it. Everything is just uniformly aligned very well. Everything is just looking out nice. Then you see how distorted this one looks, right? How scattered this other guy looks, right? So once you maintain this alignment principle, you see that at the end of the day, you are maintaining three principles here. Under this small piece now, you're maintaining three principles. One, you've obeyed the principle of alignment. You see, this one is aligned, this is aligned, this is aligned, horizontally, vertically is aligned. Now, you look at the principle of space. It's maintained, right? You have enough white space that allows you to consume the information on your design, right? Then you will see somebody that might design and his design will look something like this, right? This one will now chop because you want to exhaust all the space there. You feel like I need to exhaust all the space. I paid for it, right? Hence, you paid for the spaces. You want to build. Imagine buying a land and you build on all the spaces there. You will not have space for your car park. You will not have space for movement. Kids cannot even play in the house. Stuff like that. So that's another principle altogether. Now, do you see the difference? How this
What
guy
principle are you
made use of?
referring to? Sorry.
So
That is
tell
the
me
line
what principle
space now.
is.
The white space. Is that what you mean?
Okay, I don't know. That's left for you to figure out.
Hey,
So,
please.
so you see the principles we are obeying. Space, the principle of space, enough space. You always give room to your design. Give breathing space to your, just use that word, give breathing space to your design. So when you clutter your design, you see that it's very hard for you to get the information in the design. But look at the difference between these two guys. This one is evenly spaced out, while this one is just cluttered. The guy is trying to exhaust all the space he has. That's, we've seen how many things here? Two things. Now let's look at contrast coming to play here. You see that this white background is acting well upon this red background, this red element. Now, or imagine a design that goes this way. Since this one is white, then this guy is this way. This guy is this way. So you'll be using these principles even without you knowing, right? You'll be playing around them even without you knowing. The goal is just to know them, right? Know them, know what they mean. So once they come in play, you know that they are the ones coming to play. Now look at this design that the principle of contrast, right? Remember we mentioned something like contrast. We said that make sure that the colors you are choosing contrast well, your items, elements contrast well with the background and stuff like that. So this, look at this principle of contrast. If you are looking at the informations on this page, it will be very hard for you to get them. You understand? Are you following?
Yes, sir.
Yes, but is contrast another principle?
Is what?
I think I'm mixing everything up. That's why I asked the question.
I gave
I
out
mix
the seven
so much.
principles of design.
Okay, please, what are they? Sorry.
That's left for you to figure out too.
I beg now.
That's left for you to figure out too, because I gave you out the lectures and I guess we recorded it, did we? Yeah.
Yeah, most times, like that's why I'm always taking my time to be in class. It's not like I can't go back, but usually it's difficult to go back, especially when you have 2 hours to dedicate to watch that. Unless maybe you do skip, skip, skip. And if you skip, sometimes you must have gone past and all that.
Sorry,
So,
please. It was
um,
slide you used. Can you please share the slide instead of we going back to? So you can just share the slide in the group. So anybody that wants to go through the principles again can always go back to it.
Let me get this for you. Principles. See, first one, principle of balance.
okay,
You'll
balance.
Hello.
be hearing that a lot. Balance. You see, country. Yeah, are we too?
Hello.
You see, I
Principle of
called
balance,
contrast.
contrast.
I called it hierarchy.
Can you get to, please?
Hello.
Yeah, with you.
Hello.
Go on.
Okay. You said every Friday
Hi.
we are going to be presenting.
And that's
Can you can you, can you still hear me?
yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Is it like you're going to give everybody a particular part of the lesson to present, or everybody is going to present the lesson as a whole?
Okay, from Friday we'll take a new turn where you'll be presenting your assignments, right? So the assignments are given throughout the week. You present them on Friday, then I'll score the assignments.
Okay, okay. So like give us a project and
You
then we'll
get?
do it and present it.
It's been given already.
Yeah, that's it. So give you a project, then after you need to present it on Friday, then I'll score you as part of the assessment.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
So I guess I will share the slides to the group. Day one to today is what? Okay. From day one to day four, I guess. Share it to the group. These are the things you should have at your fingertips, even if you don't have any other thing, the elements and principles, because these are just your building blocks, right? You should have them at your fingertips. So just look at them. You can still watch videos, watch YouTube tutorials, right? Watch other YouTube, do more research on your own. Do research on your own. You find all these things, right? You find all these things. So that's that on that. On time with time we'll be uncovering them, we'll be touching them bit by bit, touching them bit by bit, and touch all of them. You see emphasis, you'll be touching this, you'll be touching contrast, you'll be touching movement. Definitely you'll be seeing repetition, right? Unity, in rare cases, I don't know. But balance is sure you can't take it out from us. Contrast at this point, you can't take it out from us. Emphasis, you cannot take it out from us. Movement, you can't take it out from us. Repetition, you can't take it out from us. The unity and rhythm, we see how it goes each time. But this one is like if you don't want to learn others, learn this first one, two, three, four, five. This first five, which is balance, contrast, emphasis, movement, repetition, right? Then rhythm and unity could come in. But these first five, just get them at your fingertips, right? Get them at your fingertips. You might even still get them, and the main thing is application, learning how to apply them, right? Learning how to apply them, which is the first one. We've learned how to apply the balance, we've learned how to apply contrast, you know how to apply emphasis, know how to apply movement and repetition. So if you know how to apply these ones, you are good to go at the point. And then you start when you start getting more advanced, you start doing other ones, right? And the elements are the things you use, right? You even be using them without knowing. Just like this rectangle, the lines in this rectangle. So you've used the element of line, you've used the element of color, even without knowing. So these are things you'll be using without being so aware of it, right? So don't just I want to learn, I want to know this and start to use, just do your thing, go through them, learn them, and practicalize them. It's very simple. Are we good?
Yeah.
Yeah, one.
Yes.
You have more challenges, maybe based on the week's work I should look at. So one of the tools, one of the skills you have to get as a designer, as a UI designer is making research, right? Making research. So there are things you could just search on Google in like 3 seconds or a second and you get the answer, right? So just take that pain, learn how to make research on your own. Because you might not always have people to ask things, right? I know it's actually hard at the onset, but with time you start getting used to that, right? Might not always consult people to get information. Learn how to make research on your own, right? It helps. learn how to make research on your own as a UI UX designer because you'll be making research throughout your career, right? You'll be making research, you'll be consulting, you'll be making research, you'll be so you'll be making research, right? You'll be consulting different texts, you'll be consulting different information hubs to it, learn how to search for videos on YouTube. I know at the onset, some people it will be boring to them to just watch YouTube tutorials, but you just have to, right? You just have to, because there are new trends that you will learn from YouTube. I, as your tutor, I will not be there to give you at every point. After these 30 days, we are done learning like one-on-one classes, right? After this 1 month, we're done with the classes. Then it will just be maybe when you have needs, you can just reach out to me, right? That's the only thing we'll be doing. Okay. Then is it every time that something you could just uncover from YouTube or from Google, a just simple Google search, right? So that's what you just need to cultivate that habit. You need to cultivate that habit to research for things ourselves and get information. So I believe we can do that. We're advancing in the class and we'll do more. So are we good?
Yes, sir.
Yes, thank you.
It's all right so far. So on the quick one, I guess I'll just show you guys few things and call it a day. I'll give you guys chance to do your assignments and do other things before your weekend meets in. Now, since we've been designing, right, the tools I showed you guys, I told you I will be uncovering Figma bit by bit. I don't want to rush into it. We've gone through the tools on Figma. We've seen some menus too. So since we've been doing that, if you notice at the right-hand side of Figma, this panel here, you will see where we have design and we have prototype, right? Where we have design and we have prototype. So Figma is actually let's say it's divided into two or three recently because they've added a dev mode, right? But that is apps for now. So just see that Figma is divided into two, where we design on the design mode and prototype on the prototype mode. So pretty much what happens in the design mode is where we will do our designs. So if I click on this design mode now, you see that. So when you start designing, right, you see the different tools available for you to make your designs on the design mode. And once you are done with your design and hit this prototype mode, see what happens. The tools here changes, right? So what it's giving you now is tool to prototype. So prototyping means kind of displaying your work, trying to bring that your work to real life experience, right? Let's say you design a website. So once you prototype that website, you want to test how users will navigate that website if they are navigating their real site. Like you want them to have their real experience they get from navigating their real site from that your design, right? That's what prototyping is all about. So when I prototype, I can click on buttons and they will work. I can navigate to new pages. I can do a lot of things when I'm prototyping, right? So these are the two different phases on Figma. You have the prototype phase and the design phase. So the prototype phase is where we will link different screens together, right? Where you can navigate from this screen one to screen two through your prototyping, right? So when you connect the screens, you can just move from one screen to another. Are we good?
Yes, yes. Understand.
Okay. So another thing we look at is sharing on Figma. how to share files on Figma. Remember, I told you guys that two or more than two or more people can connect on one design project, right? So this is how to share files on Figma. Let's say you are done designing, you click on share, you see where to copy link. So when you copy this link and share to people, anybody with that link can view your design, right? Let's say you are done designing and you prototype, then you send out to them. They can view that prototype and operate it like a real website. So the prototype works like they are using a real website. You get. Let me check if I have any rough work I can share with you guys. Check if I have any rough work I can share with you guys. Yeah, I can share this. No, 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 I don't have anything I can share here. The all people's job, people's job, people's job. Okay, I guess this is an old design I did one time. Let me check if it's so load up. An old design I did. I was just trying to redesign this. This was an interview question. It's an interview prompt. They they gave me to redesign this website, right? This was their former existing website, right? This blue panel, and this is what I changed it to. Although I didn't get the job, I didn't get the job, but I got the experience, right? I didn't get the job, but I got the experience. But that's cool. Anyways, I felt I was wrong. I felt I was wrong, but God knows the best. It's crazy. So you see this place. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, we can, we can.
Yeah. So this is the former design, and this was the redesign. Did I prototype this? I guess I didn't. Let me just quickly share it. At least I can share this one. You don't get into trouble with anybody. Share this one. So I will just copy the link and paste it on our chat. So you can, from your own end, view the project. Right? So let me paste it on the chat. And view the project from your end and see that it's possible to view people. So I shared the link to the file, right? So that you can go through it and navigate it, go through it and see that you can see people's work. You are not like, "Ah, I should have a breakdown of changes and reasons for them." And see, Teresa is in my job already. I can see her mouse going up and see that not only Teresa is active on this job. This is where you can see people that are active on the job. See that, see that. So I can drop a message for Oluwa Ponla. Yes, that chat I told you, right? I can come to this place and be like, change the color, Oluwa Ponla, and add the comments. Fine. Stop. This Sunday is here. You can spotlight it. So you can see people's arrow moving around, right? You can tag them, comments, then they'll get notified. So that's how it works. So I tag this guy, I can just send a message and mention. That's simple. So they will get notified. So people there, Amaka, you just tag me there, send a message to me. Let me check if I will get it. Or you can tag any member of any person you are seeing there. I'm seeing Teresa, so Teresa can tag Amaka, Amaka can tag Teresa. Send a message to them. So if you look at this, you see that I designed the mobile view. It's like a website. So I designed the mobile view of the website and equally designed the desktop view of the website and the mobile view of the website. So just have this in mind that we're making two designs, the mobile and desktop view. Now you see that you guys don't have the right to edit on this, right? Because I gave you only permission. Cannot make changes. Cannot make changes on my design.
Yeah.
Right? You can view it and see it and give me feedback of what you saw. You don't have the right to effect changes on this. So things like this is what you can achieve with Figma. So there are a lot to do with Figma. There's a lot to do on Figma. We have a lot to explore. And I guess from Monday it will be Figma back to back. Just for a lot and enhance our skills and start designing. Right, start designing. So that's cool. It's been a great weekend with you guys. A great week with you guys. So soon we'll be signing out for our weekend till next week. So reconnect back and continue learning. So this is not a time to just keep all you've learned in class. It's a time to reflect and practice more okay? Remember your assignments to do them. Remember your assignments. So see you guys next week. If you have questions or just drop them, else we'll take about.
Sorry, I don't know. I didn't see any assignments. Or was the assignment given yesterday?
There is a link they tagged assignments link. Check the group, you see a link. Is it the what again? You see one somebody posted it on the group. He tagged it assignment. Check the links the person posted. So the assignment is in the video. You see the video there, the assignment there.
Okay. So I'll just watch the video and the assignment is there.
Is there both the steps and how
Okay.
to do it. So I just incorporated it in the video so it will be easier for you guys.
Okay. Thank you very much.
All right. So guys, we'll see on Monday. Bye for now.
Thank you.